How did you sleep last night, guys?
After Steph Curry said night,
Good?
not really. I was rewatching his shot 56 times, but
It's hard to go to sleep. Too many emotions on such a historic night.
like I wrote on our chat this morning, was this like the peak of basketball? Will we ever see another Olympics or another tournament where three of NBA or all-time top 15 players on the same team and does this stuff in the end?
And
I don't know.
one guy on the other team probably also in that top 10, top 15. You can argue for whatever. I don't know, guys. We'll now need to transition after this to talking about the EuroLeague games. And
It's a good thing we have quite a break coming because, just Cody Miller-McIntyre and...
It's going to be
company.
hard to analyze Virtus Bologna roster.
Yeah.
Why so?
Because, after watching the greatest shooter in the history of planet Earth, a player who is in the GOAT discussions, FIBA GOAT, the next big thing, Wembanyama, and all the other players on the same court, to think about Virtus Bologna or Crvena Zvezda lacking a power forward.
Yeah, no disrespect to those teams where they were just random selected.
It's going to be a
selected.
process, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good that we have still at least a month to relax, to prepare ourselves for the upcoming season. But the semifinals and the gold medal game, that was the peak of basketball, I'd say. I mean, did we see anything better recently in our lives?
I'm thinking about the 2016 NBA season because that one stood out to me. The one where Steph and Warriors were putting on a show every night. And then, those legendary playoffs, the All-Star game, the 2016 All-Star game with Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, dunk contest. I thought that was... in the last years, I was thinking that was one of the greatest seasons ever. How it ended also.
But when we're talking about the Olympics, it just feels special. And we grew up in the world where Olympic basketball was Team USA gets the gold, and then the rest of the world will sort it out for silver, for bronze. And in 92, 96, there was no competition. In 2000, for the first time, Team USA was tested. Then 2004 happened, Argentina. But we've never reached the levels we are right now. Because when Argentina won in 2004, you could point fingers at Americans. They finished fourth in their group. They were not prepared. Maybe they had internal issues as well, the way players were acting and what they were doing in their free time. But now it's not about that. They are great, but they are facing real competition because other teams are also great. This is the peak, 2024.
Yeah.
We have teams like Serbia with the best player in the world right now. We have France with their size, their defense, experience, and at the same time, young talent. And these teams are so close to beating Team USA, even when Team USA is performing at a super high level, like semifinal, LeBron with a triple-double, Steph with 9 threes, gold medal game. Again, Steph does the same thing. Again, LeBron is legendary. Again, you have other players performing, but France is always there. And this is the peak of at least international basketball, I would say.
And at least to me, I don't know, guys, if you agree, and I don't know if the listeners agree, but to me, the Olympic basketball was always the top of the mountain when you just talk about basketball in general, like EuroLeague or NBA, whatever. But when you have national teams playing and it's the Olympics, not Eurobasket, not FIBA Americas, not the World Cup, Olympic basketball tournament is at the top of the mountain when it comes to the tournaments of any basketball.
For sure, because you always have the best roster. All the stars show up. Eurobasket, you never know. Will Jokic suit up? Will Giannis suit up? Will others be there.
There no USA there, so
Plus
USA,
the
yeah.
prestige of only 12 teams making the Olympics. So you have
Right.
the 12 supposedly best teams, obviously because of the continents we get some weaker teams, but this year it was 12 teams that were all competing, were all talked about in one way or another. They had a storyline to talk about. We can remember South Sudan that was eliminated a while ago now, right? But teams like that, 11th, 12th, 10th teams were interesting to watch.
And
so
how many bad games there were in this Olympic tournament?
Puerto Rico,
couple.
Serbia.
That's the only one, probably.
And Puerto Rico, USA didn't mean anything to the standings.
But that was super fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly, because of the highlights. So when you have only 12 teams, it makes the competition much stronger. Because in the FIBA World Cup, even if the stars show up, you will not have the same quality because there are teams that are not even near the level we're talking about. And even in Eurobasket, because it was 16 teams some time ago, you extend the tournament, add 8 more teams, the quality suffers at least a little bit. And here, 12 teams, you cannot say these are the 12 best teams in the world because they are still from different continents. And let's say you could upgrade the quality, but the competition was insane, honestly. And the players that stood out from teams like Japan and South Sudan, everybody learned about Kawamura and his skill. Everybody learned about South Sudanese players, Luol Deng and their coach Royal Ivy. It's just a great experience. And before getting to the game, I also have to say that at the moment, it's up to basketball to actually save America, because in the medals count, they are one gold medal short, because China has 39. Team USA won yesterday, so now USA has 38. Women's final is today, USA versus France. So yeah, they need to win that gold, and you can say that basketball did it. Because Noah Lyles couldn't get his second gold.
Man was sick.
The man was sick, yeah.
But any other, okay, let's not go into the details, but whatever.
Yeah, and before we go into the games, I would love to just say this to our viewers and listeners. I checked my YouTube stats the other day.
Your YouTube stats?
My channel's YouTube stats. I call it my channel now. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that.
You run this shit.
I run this shit.
This is your podcast too now, huh?
Yeah, well, okay, it doesn't say URBONUS behind because it isn't anymore.
Yeah.
Just, the stat of 65% of people watching this podcast right now being not subscribed is appalling. I cannot believe it. So if you guys still won't subscribe to our channel, when it costs you absolutely nothing, then I don't know what to say anymore. Listen, this jersey right now that I'm wearing is going out to one random guy or girl or whatever person who subscribes and who will enter the little giveaway thing that we'll do on our community post. Once we hit 150,000, we're 2,000 subscribers away. So that's nothing. If you subscribe now, you get a chance to win that. So make sure to do that. Now
that you're done with this
I'm
propaganda,
done with
we can move to basketball.
Let's move to basketball. Let's first recap the 2 games that we saw, both the final and the bronze medal game. Also, we'll do a little bit of, let's say, alternative awards at the end. We'll talk about some different topics regarding some teams that not necessarily won medals. So first of all, let's talk about the final. I think this is the most important thing to start with is the final. Me and Augustas sat down. We said yesterday, this was another Steph Curry night of brilliance. What was your first thought about this game yesterday when it finished?
First of all, congratulations to France. That was my first thought. Second thought, the legends that we witnessed, we will never forget those memories. Some of these players played for their countries for the last time. LeBron James, probably Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, Nikola Batum.
Rudy Gobert literally came out with a statement recently.
But he's still...
What?
You didn't see it?
He retired? He said it?
He said that Rudy Gobert hints at retirement from national team.
Okay, hints at
but
retirement.
hints does
But
not
he's
mean...
still pretty young. He's like 30 years old.
I think he didn't like those 5 minutes.
But who knows? They might have a different
32.
coach, new tournament, 32. He might still show up. I don't know. But officially, Batum is the one who retired. The captain of the team left the court with blood on his face, and that just shows what kind of a fighter Nikola Batum has been through all these years. That's one of a couple of thoughts I had in my head after the final. But during the final, for 25 minutes, I thought that, it's not easy for Team USA, but they're getting there without any problems or issues. They were leading by 14 or 15 points. Actually, from the very beginning, from the first few possessions, I thought this is not the pace that France needs. Americans are getting layups, dunks. They're stealing the ball. They're getting fast breaks, and then
so many.
They're building an early 6, 8, 10-point lead. And I thought that at this pace, France can't fight for the gold medal. Something has to change. So for 25 minutes, to me, it seemed like Americans already have the gold medals on their necks. But then it all changed because of France aggressive. And aggressive is an understatement. Because of their insane defense. Insane ball pressure, and all of a sudden, the energy was shifting in that building in Paris. So the last 15 minutes of the game, as crazy as it sounds, when we're talking about a team with LeBron, Steph, KD, Anthony Davis, who was a huge factor in the game, they were on survival mode for just hanging in there somehow. They had shots at the end of the shot clock. They had possessions where they just couldn't dribble the ball or make a simple pass because of all these deflections from French players. So at the same time, sloppy turnovers. Because after those 25 minutes, Team USA had 20 assists and 5 turnovers. And then I saw some things that you can't really explain, like that last play of the third quarter where Edwards just throws the ball to KD and he's looking somewhere else, and then Decolo gets a layup. LeBron James throwing an inbound pass to Kevin Durant to the sideline.
Throwing an baseline to sideline out of bounds.
Exactly, and one turnover after the other. France felt better. Finally, some players started making shots, like Evan Fournier, for example, Decolo with his experience, and they were back in the game. And then, as I said, in the fourth quarter, Team USA was on survival mode. French players missed free throws, important free throws, but then Steph Curry happened, and that's it.
It's just, to me, like I will say this: I don't think Team USA played well yesterday. Like, they could have won that game.
But do you think
easier.
They didn't play well the whole game, or just the certain part of the game?
No, certain parts of it. Like, I thought they could have played much better. But just once again, you see a team that does not know how to react in certain situations. And one of them was the zone defense. We watched the game. There were like 8, 9 possessions. I didn't count the exact numbers. I didn't log every possession, but there were like around that number of possessions, and USA guys scored only on 1 possession against the zone. And they looked, I did not see really a huge plan, to be honest, against the zone defense. And so that was a huge issue. Then you mentioned those turnovers. Those also came just from situations where basically you meet the pressure of the opponents, you meet the switching defense, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, how are we going to attack it? Just, okay, one way is just to play ISO. But against this aggressive French switching defense, it was hard. And some guys, the Team USA as a whole, as a group, looked for some parts just, they did not know what to do. And in the end, we just saw once again that the talent gap that they have, the ability to actually go to that extra level.
Just to push the button.
Nobody else has that in the world, apart maybe from a couple of players like Jokic and those guys. Team USA have 3, 4 guys on one team that can actually go to a level nobody else can go. And we saw that from KD, game against Serbia, 8 from 8. Nobody else can do that. We saw that from Steph in the semifinal. We saw that, from LeBron in kind of a different way, like an all-around game. And then Steph, again, those 4 threes in 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Like, that's a level I don't think anybody really can go to make shots of that difficulty when the France are actually double teaming you. And I loved the way Team USA actually managed to get the ball back to him. Like first double team, there was like pass to KD, extra pass, Devin Booker drives, finds Curry for the free. And then in the last possession after the double team, you saw how KD never looked really when after Steph has already made threes. He just passes the ball back to Steph. He doesn't matter. There are two guys next to him. So I love the way Team USA knew that like we need to get the ball to Steph and he's going to carry us. So,
but getting back to your earlier point about them being sort of lost against the zone defense, do you think like in the future they need a different approach rather than the one they have right now, where the players just have to figure it out, whether it's zone, whether they're switching defense, or whatever the opponent throws at them? It's not that they were preparing for it before the game. It's just that the players on the court, they have to figure it out.
But why do you have the coaches then? I mean, random plays against the zone defense. Why do random plays against the zone defense when you can just have a couple of plays that will just make your life easier and solve your problems, and you won't need to have Steph Curry making 4 ridiculous threes in the end.
Yeah.
It's just, I get what KD is saying, on Twitter. It's not only strict plays in every, but sometimes it just makes your life easier,
That's what I wanted to hear. I wanted you to say loudly that there wasn't much coaching done in here. If we're talking about, let's say, running plays or approaching your opponent, of course, there was a lot of coaching in man management and putting the right lineups and making decisions.
It's super hard to work with 12 guys that are, all NBA level guys.
That's what I said as well for the next Olympics, that, you cannot have all 12 guys that are all-stars on this team, I don't think, because it's impossible to play all 12 of them, and then for the coach to have to answer to the media and have pressure of why didn't you play Tatum or why didn't you play Tyrese Halliburton, and that, unnecessary pressure before the games for the coach, then he has to put Jason Tatum in the lineup for a bit in the final just because of the last game. I thought, unnecessary. I think 11th and 12th players for the future. If I was the Team USA, manager or a coach, I wouldn't take all 12 all-stars. I just thought that this was a bit of a unnecessary issue for them.
You would pull a Christian Laettner.
Yeah, something like that. You don't have to have Jason Tatum.
Maybe you can. The USA basketball program could have this agreement that the 12th spot on the roster for the Olympics could be for bright NCAA talent or something like that.
Like it was
back
before.
in the day.
I said Christian Laettner. Anthony Davis went to London.
2012.
Yeah, 2012 in
right?
London.
Yeah. You wanted to extend your thoughts about the coaching, or?
Not really. A couple of other things I wanted to say are how insane is Anthony Davis, actually. We didn't talk much about him in these Olympics. And his presence was not that strong until the final. Because in the semifinal, there was Embiid. In some group stage games, it was Bam Adebayo. Of course, Anthony Davis was playing minutes. He was okay. But in the final, we saw the real Anthony Davis. The rim protection, paint protection, offensive rebounds. How many did he have? Six or seven? He got 6 offensive rebounds. He was very focused, and I think he was their best big man in that final. Because Embiid started, he played some minutes in the second half. There were those 2 plays where he got fouled. He made his free throws. Then you had Bam, but Anthony Davis was the best man, and I think he was a bit underplayed, in my opinion. He only played 20 minutes. I wanted him to be there more, especially in the fourth quarter. I don't think he needed that much rest. So it was strange to see, like, with 4 minutes left and the game still being up for grabs, to see him sitting on the bench. What do you guys think about AD?
I don't know. Thoughts. I don't know.
It's just... I agree with you. Like, really, I thought he was amazing, and I thought he's the matchup to use not only in the final more, but throughout the tournament, I would say, because I enjoy what he brings defensively to the table. And, I don't really need much scoring in the post when you have always guys on the court that can do a lot of stuff. So, but, Steve Kerr actually did lineup changes for the final. That was probably his biggest adjustment.
KD started. And then it's easier to actually bring Jason Tatum into the lineup because it's like there is no KD on that second lineup, and there is Steph, LeBron, and KD in the first unit, and then in the second you have only Ant. So actually bringing the second guy that can score,
more natural, I guess.
But
right?
at the same time, I think I saw a stat on Twitter, somebody that Jason Tatum did not make a jump shot in this tournament, I think, or something like that.
A couple of dunks.
Yeah.
0 of 16, but I would have to double check that.
When you're not in the rhythm, even if you're a great player, when you don't really touch the ball during the game and you have this one or two opportunities to shoot, it makes you basically a role player. It doesn't even matter that you're an all-NBA guy, but it makes you a role player, and it's tough.
And when you're playing one game and then not playing.
Yeah.
And, it's crazy that we haven't even mentioned the Abuzelis poster on LeBron. Steph Freeze at the end saved not only Team USA, but saved LeBron from oh my God.
That's the king. That's the king right there.
Gershon said that he's hanging this up as a poster in his home.
He has to.
He has to get this like a mural painted
that was
near
sick.
his house.
And immediately I thought about the 2008 final, Rudy Fernandez dunk on Dwight Howard.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But
Anthony Davis had revenge for LeBron. That was some LA Lakers stuff, because in the third or in the fourth quarter, Yabusele tried to dunk on AD.
Yeah.
He got blocked.
That huge block.
He got blocked. That was
But
revenge.
then he tried to dunk on Steph as well, and the
LeBron
ball just rimmed out. And so, okay, this was an epic dunk. I just wanted to say shout out to Devin Booker. We have already said that, but somebody actually dug up his tweet that he said there was a tweet saying something about role playing in Team USA, and he wrote 2 years ago or 3 years ago, like, I'll do it. Like, I'll be a role player. I will accept that role, and he did that at a super high level.
Especially defensively. For me, the way he was picking up all the opponent's guards from, full court almost, and just like not giving much space. I didn't expect that he's such a good defender, or I didn't think he was such a good defender on ball as I saw in these Olympics. And just that perfect role player. He was averaging like about 15 points, I would guess.
I'd say
No, 12.
Oh, 12. Okay.
12 free.
Yeah,
But
right.
very consistent throughout the whole tournament.
And the last guy is Tyrese Halliburton. Did not play, did not make any...
Ultimate teammate.
Ultimate teammate, the hype man, the celebration.
Well, Europe,
just always jumping on the bench. Amazing to have a guy at this level being happy with the 12-man role, not even playing, but being the ultimate supporter. I loved it.
I also love it, and especially when we're talking about young players who might feel that it's unfair to them. But I think you're representing your country in the Olympic Games. It's an honor, whether you're a 12th man or 11th man or a 10th man, whether you're in the rotation or not. Because for USA, it's different. And when you understand your situation, you just support your teammates and do whatever you can. Because in other countries, well, you have star players, it's clear. And then the coach has to work with what's there, basically. Even talented teams like Serbia, Germany, France, it's not like they are leaving out 5 all-stars or anything like that. You have the main players, the role players, and those who will probably sit on the bench, and they're all fine with it because they're used to it. In this case, well, you're picking 12 all-stars. You're leaving out 15 or 20 all-stars. So even to be that 12th guy is huge. Like to even be in that place, in that position. Of course, if you're picking some veteran players, like if you pick Kyrie Irving, he wouldn't be the 12th man. Like you wouldn't have LeBron being okay with 10 minutes with the second unit. So it's completely different. You cannot compare this to any other team or any other player, but the way Tyrese Haliburton embraced it, and I didn't hear or see anything negative from Jason Tatum as well. So
it was just the internet that made this a
people with their
conversation.
comments, but he didn't say anything. It didn't look like he's unhappy. I don't know how it will affect his decision in the future, let's say, to play for Team USA in Los Angeles or in other competitions in between.
I don't think it will influence that much. I mean, it's still Team USA.
It shouldn't.
You don't want to play in the Olympics at your home at the peak of your career.
Yeah, and that will
be
be a different generation of players with different coaching staff. You might be the star of that team in 4 years. Who knows? Maybe in 2028, Jason Tatum will be the MVP and the face of the league. So you know, it can happen.
Another young guy I wanted to talk about that we haven't spoken about yet, and that impressed me a lot. Not actually in the game as much as after the game. Wembanyama, 26 points, sure, great performance. He was hitting some clutch shots like we saw and spoke about yesterday, but. The way he lived through that loss, the way he was emotional, crying on the bench, couldn't contain himself, and really, really a tough loss for him, it seemed. And the quote that he gave after the game, "I'm learning and I'm worried for the opponents in a couple of years. NBA, FIBA, everywhere." This is some killer mentality shit.
Killer mentality we saw in the first possessions. He just attacked Embiid and scored on Embiid. It was a good final for him. Some of the shots didn't go in. Some of the shots were tough, but he scored 26, 11 from 19. So that was a great final for a 20-year-old. And I can't imagine the feeling playing the Olympic final in your home country in Paris. On the sidelines, you have Thierry Henry watching, you have Tony Parker watching, you have Antoine Dupont, their best rugby player, rugby goat, watching, you have Teddy Riner.
Wasn't the president there? President
Macron is also there. You have all these sports legends, the president, and so many other people, and you're just playing like any other game, like it's a regular game for you. And I would even say he stepped up his game, because in the quarterfinals, in the semis, he wasn't shooting great. His percentages were really poor, so he stepped up his game in the gold medal fight.
Yep, and
which is really impressive. The Olympics are over.
Yes, they are. What do we do now?
I don't know. Maybe start our own business.
Just like that, just out of nowhere, just start a business.
The basketball has peaked, man. We already talked about it.
That's true. You have any ideas? Do you know what you need to do when you have a business idea? You need a website, man.
Since opening a physical store these days is unpopular and
it's limiting. It's very limiting.
Inefficient. Player index rating is low for the...
Only boomers do that.
Right. Baby boomers.
Baby boomers.
Born before 64.
Yeah. The real ones open a website.
Right. And I have this amazing service by Hostinger to help sort of boomers like you, not in the sense of generations, but in the meme sense, boomers, to create that website with zero knowledge of actually programming, coding, design, any of that. You don't need that. You just use their AI website builder. You use their templates if you don't like AI, if you're scared of AI, which I would, not be surprised by. I
was always kind of scared of AI and his crossovers. I mean, the guy was insane.
Right. Artificial intelligence I was talking about. Yeah, they have that. They have the website
They have
builder.
the answer.
They have the answer. They have the AI tools. Can you believe it? The AI tools.
Wow, anyone who has AI tools, I respect that. I respect their game.
Right.
AI tools, there's Kyrie, and there's Hostinger, the only ones.
So you can get also a 10% discount with our code BNews10 for any hosting plans. besides that, the most important part, I think, is that you get the domain for free. They give you a list to choose from. You can search which are available, and all of them are for free for you if you just get a 1-year hosting plan with our code BNews10. That's it. Check all the links in the description, and that's that's how you finish the ad read, I believe. And what we said before the podcast when we were just chit-chatting, that probably it hurts him even more that he knows that this is probably the only chance he could have won gold in his home country in the Olympics. Because
naturally, the next Olympics in Paris, well, this was after 100 years.
Yeah.
So the next...
So unless
in 21, 24.
Unless Wemby is actually an alien, this is not happening.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Hey, France were shooting 30% from free. We're making only 30% of their free pointers, 9 from 30, and they missed 7 free throws.
Yeah, tough.
So you could have that feeling. You didn't need that much. You didn't need some sort of a miracle. You just needed to make a couple of extra shots, and you could have been so much closer to the gold medal. Because those missed shots are not, or especially missed free throws, are not on Americans' defense. It's just you.
So you think it might have been also a feeling of missed opportunity?
I think so.
Wasted opportunity.
I do think so. Yeah. I think the last final in Tokyo they lost by 5. Only by 5 because they cut the deficit in the end. But I didn't have the same feeling I had yesterday, like there were missed opportunities. I felt like, okay, they were using their size. They used Mustafa Fall, played a lot in the post, but it didn't feel like they had a legitimate opportunity to win gold in Tokyo. This time it felt like they did, because even in the first half, when they were not so tired, they missed good looks. Fournier, Batum, and other players you might expect to hit those shots. And of course, I understand that late in the game, missed free throws happen. You're tired because you're working so hard on defense. It's tough to make those shots, but still, the numbers are there, and it's clear that most of those shots were uncontested.
Yep. Just quick side topics we have also regarding Team USA. Where do you guys rank this 2024 Team USA all time? Is it in your? It's probably top 3, right?
I'll let you do the talking first.
I think it's for sure top 3. But I wanted to give you the talking time because I think the history is your strong side, and but this is a tricky question because it's heavy recency bias. Like we just saw 2 of the greatest games. It's tough.
I think the comparisons are not fair.
Yeah.
Because, of course, we're talking about the timeline from 92 to now, because that's when the professionals started playing in the Olympics for Team USA. Because
do you think comparisons are not fair because players are just better now?
Or
the competition
level.
The competition is better. Yeah. So if we go through time, in 92, and the same thing in 96, they had Team USA there in Barcelona, in Atlanta, to show to the rest of the world how the basketball is played. The 92 Olympics happened just a year after the Cold War ended. The Iron Curtain was not there anymore. So people had the opportunity, people in Europe, especially in Eastern Europe, they had the opportunity for the first time on television, witness the greatness of Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, John Stockton, and all the other guys. And, you know, there was no competition. It was just a show.
9 NBA players only.
There was talent on other teams, Croatia, Lithuania, but it just wasn't enough. It was impossible to compete with Team USA. The same thing in 96. So in Sydney, after the Jordan era, things started changing. They didn't really bring their best players. They didn't bring Shaq. They didn't bring Kobe. But of course, it was a strong roster with Vince Carter, Kevin Garnett. And then we're getting to the Redeem Team, which is the powerful unit that has to bring back the gold medal. And their competition is Spain.
Yeah.
This team in 2024 has at least 3, or I would say 4 national teams that could actually beat them. They didn't meet Canada, but that could have been a great game. They didn't meet Germany. That could have been an amazing final as well. They did meet Serbia and France. And all these teams are on the same level. So I think none of these Team USA teams, whether it's the Dream Team or Redeem Team, faced the competition that these guys faced in Paris. But if I have to rank them, which I prefer and which I like more, they wouldn't be number 1.
So who would be your number 1? 2008, 92?
92, I was still a baby. I know about all these legends, but I cannot say that they're the ones I grew up with. 2008 hits me so hard, that Redeem Team with Kobe.
So 2008,
when Kobe joined.
Yeah.
I cannot.
Let's be short now.
I cannot omit 92, man. It's insane. I don't know how to rank them. So 2008, 92, 2024, I don't know.
I got the same thing.
Fair.
I got the same thing. And I think even maybe Melo on the talk with Donata said something
He
similar.
also said 2-8,
Yeah.
number 1.
2008, then I think it was 20.
And then 2012 as the most under, you cannot say underrated, but
yeah,
it's not talked
Just
about
outside,
enough how
yeah.
insane they were
Yeah.
in 2012.
Another topic I had was that KD is now undisputed Team USA GOAT, but to be honest, I think that was obvious already. I think it's also fair to say he's the FIBA GOAT, really. Who would you put into even consideration with taking all the medals? So 2010 gold medal in the World Cup where he leads the team, right? The young USA team. 2012, we just talked about that gold medal with Team USA. 2016 gold medal. 2021 gold medal. 2024 gold medal. 4 Olympic golds, never been done before.
And
almost all of those teams he led.
And most points scored for Team USA.
For Team USA, yes. Of course, there's these guys like Oscar Schmidt that we don't know about.
Just for Team USA.
Yeah.
And both men and women.
Yeah. So I think it's unanimous, right? This is really not a discussion.
I talked enough.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the only player to have 4 golds in Olympic basketball.
Yeah.
That just tells you enough, and he's always been the guy for those teams. I mean, apart from this one, maybe but he was still
in
the
that top 3
guy.
Yeah.
To me, it's hard to choose between him, Melo, Kobe, LeBron, because maybe some of those players didn't play that many competitions, like Kobe played in those 2 Olympic tournaments. But what Carmelo did for Team USA, what Kobe did on those 2 occasions, what LeBron did, now he's the MVP at 39 years old. I think KD wins the GOAT conversation mainly because he played more tournaments.
And he never failed.
And he never failed.
LeBron only won 3 golds because he had the opportunity to win 4.
But
got
look,
the bronze.
LeBron on that roster
No, I know.
was
But
Jason Tatum on this roster.
But I'm saying in terms of facts. I understand.
Nah, he never failed. And
Yeah.
in 2021, you can say he carried that team.
Yeah.
He didn't need to carry this team, though, but he still was great.
Yeah. The greatest moment for me was the tweet, anyways, after it.
The
Entertainment and IQ. It was the perfect response to Dennis Schroeder's.
That
even
was
though it's
great, yeah.
a bad misinterpretation of what it meant, because obviously what Dennis Schroeder said was also right. There's some more, there's some more tactics, more let's say coaching maybe in European game. But I just love these KD's tweets where he just trolls. And this was a right moment to do so.
I still pick
The best
crossover on Petrushev as the best moment of Kevin Durant's Olympics.
Okay.
What about the best moment of the tournament?
Oh, no. We'll get to that at the end.
No,
We'll get to that in the end. Let's leave that now because we got some...
The golden dagger.
All right. Should we move on now to the bronze medal game? Also spoke about it with Augustas already, but...
I already forgot that game, to be honest. Like the final was so good.
It seemed like we had 2 different days yesterday because we came here, we watched the bronze medal game at 12, in our time. And then 12 hours later, there's another game.
Why there was such a big break?
Because it's the Olympics, it's not a basketball tournament.
Yeah, but 12 a.m.?
Things are happening. There are other big finals, big events that TV contracts.
No, they just wanted Nikola Jokic and his guys to get drunk
to have
and to show up at the celebrations in style.
That was the most entertaining thing to watch, to be honest.
It's a tricky thing with the Olympics. If you remember in Tokyo, they actually played the final first and the bronze medal game later, just because American broadcasters wanted it.
I think it's a similar situation here for the US to play at 9:30 local time in France, but in US it's 7 hours or 6 hours behind. Depends which time zone. But why then you have Serbia playing Germany at 11 a.m. That's an interesting one.
I just think that the Olympic Committee, they are scheduling these events, these finals, and they don't really prioritize basketball as much as we do. So that's the simplest explanation. But yeah, early morning game. I'm not used to it. In these Olympics, I had 3 or 4 of those. But when it's for the medal, it feels strange. Germany actually played an early morning game in the quarterfinal. So this was not the first time for them. But the way they played, the energy levels, it seemed like they only woke up after an hour. And Serbian players probably had nice breakfast. And they were prepared much better than Germany.
Serbia just had their coffee and went out and just balled. I mean, that was a great game too, to be honest. It seemed like a little bit of an all-star game, high pace, a lot of threes to start, and they were making their shots. And Serbia just showed once again of how strong they are with Nikola Jokic, how much the life is easier for others around him. It's super easy for him as well when you have shooters around him and guys that can attack the closeout. And it's like Germany and other teams had to pick their poison. If you allow Jokic to go one-on-one, he will just score. And yesterday we saw those situations where he gets the ball inside, like 3 meters from the rim, and it's like, okay, let's leave. Let's run to offense because he will score anyway. And then Daniel Theis does all the job in the world. Jokic has to catch the ball on the 3-point line, and he still just bags him down and scores anyway. So, and if you help, he will kick it out, and others make the threes. I thought Serbians played with a lot of confidence. That confidence grew in the tournament. I think their game also peaked at the right moment, and Vanja Marinkovic making fadeaway threes, Bogdan being, that the type of player that he is, but super confident and aggressive. Micic as well, increasing.
Micic had the best game of the tournament.
So
when he attacked those switches in the third quarter, those were some big plays.
Yeah, and for Germany, you said before the game, I believe, that you thought that this is going to be the game where Germans are going to struggle less to score than they did against France, but it wasn't really the case. And I don't know, maybe you said Serbia peaked at the right time. Germans peaked at too early, I guess. Too early. They peaked in the group stage. They peaked maybe quarterfinal, but not when it mattered the most.
At the end of the day, their shooting numbers are fine. But the thing is, they built up those numbers when they were already in trouble. When they were down 19, that was the biggest lead for Serbia in the game. In that timeout, Moritz Wagner was very vocal. And then they came back, and finally I saw energy. I saw them being aggressive on defense. Moritz Wagner himself hit some shots, and he tried to be the leader of the team. He's not the captain of the team because Dennis Schroeder is, but at that point, Moritz Wagner acted like the captain. So Dennis Schroeder didn't have a particularly good game. I love the way Serbians defended the pick and roll. They forced him to doubt his decision making, to take some uncomfortable mid-range shots, and that basically put him out of the game. He played 30 minutes, scored 13 points, 4 from 11 shooting. It wasn't the same Dennis Schroeder we saw in the final in Manila last year. And credit to Pesic. I think he had a great defensive plan. I think he had it all prepared, and the way they managed to bounce back after a tough loss versus Team USA, it's impressive. They maintained the same energy. Alex Avramovic was as great as ever once again on defense and on offense. So everything that I said after the semifinal just proves that when you're fighting for Olympic bronze is different than playing for
World Cup
third place or Eurobasket third place. It is a medal, and the Serbians, it might feel like a gold.
Yeah,
knowing how proud they are for the performance in the semifinals. So yeah, it's just Jokic was too good. There was nothing that Germans could do. And I didn't like some of the stuff they were trying, like just simply leave Daniel Theis alone over there. The help comes, but it comes already when Jokic is turning to the rim. I think if you want to double him, you need to double him even before he makes the first dribble. But of course, he will pass the ball to an open teammate. It's obvious. Germany just didn't have the energy needed to win an Olympic medal. And tactically also, I think Pesic got everything right. And he showed again that even though we treat him as some dinosaur, old school coach, for this team, he's still the man to do the job.
Yeah. I loved how they forced Dennis to play the pick and rolls on the side. And, I mean, Alexa Avramovic playing defense. Can you watch it?
Defensive player of the Olympics.
Well deserved.
1.7 steals per game.
Absolutely.
Insane
Yesterday,
stuff.
he stole the ball twice, I think, from Dennis Schroeder. Made his life uncomfortable. Did the same in every game. Absolutely well deserved. I think there was a tweet today from his agent or something like that he still has like 5 or 6 days until his NBA clause is
Has an NBA clause.
He has an NBA clause, actually. So
Damn.
All right. Do you guys think this was the best Serbian team ever, considering they almost beat what we consider one of the top 3 Team USAs, and they beat Germany quite comfortably, let's say. We didn't see them against France, of course, in the official tournament. They played some friendlies, but we didn't see them play each other.
I don't want to be impolite, but define Serbia.
Okay, I understand your not question.
What are we choosing from?
Yeah. This is something that's such a sensitive topic that I don't know where to start, because obviously we even had comments about, yesterday did a little reaction video on how many medals has Serbia won in the Olympics, and it's like, what sources do you take? Because it really depends. So, but let's say, I don't know, from when it's called Serbia,
then yes.
Mm-hmm.
But still in my heart, I have good feelings for that team with Divac, Podroga, and everybody else. 2002 Indianapolis world champions. But if we're talking about the teams that had Serbia on the jersey, this is the best for sure.
Because probably what's the second best?
You can't compare 2017. You can't compare 2017. 2016, Jokic was still very young and not an MVP and not at the level he is right now. 2017, they reached the Eurobasket final. They didn't have all of their best players. It was Bogdanovic, the man, and the other guys helping him.
Last year,
well, there was no Jokic.
And there was no such, competition as they had this year.
This has to be the best.
Yeah.
This has to be the best.
It's interesting because it's a third place winner.
Lineup-wise, roster-wise, in 2022, they were almost as good with Jokic, but they didn't play as good as they did now. And there was no Alex Avramovic. So right now, I have to say, yeah, this is the best team they had.
Yeah, you agree, right? And in terms of Germany, their head coach is now stepping down because there was an agreement before. He wants to do a club career. He wants to focus on a club. And this 3, 4, how many years he was there? Now I'm thinking, but I just
the Olympic cycle.
The Olympic cycle has finished for Germany with Gordy Herbert, and now he's gonna have to be replaced. Do you guys don't need to give me any names, but what kind of a coach do they really need? Like, I don't, for example, first of all, I don't think they need a German coach. Like, they just didn't have a German coach now. But what kind of a coach would benefit this kind of a roster that they have for the next few years? Because I feel like the core is gonna stay the same. You have any ideas what kind of a coach? Because I felt like Gordy Herbert really put this team into its place, like put a system together for this team to be a nice, oiled machine. So what kind of a coach would is it a European experienced coach, or you look at some, NBA assistant coaches?
Just the best similar copy of what Gordon Herbert did, because I think he's not there anymore because...
his own ambitions, let's say?
Yeah, because, you can't coach two teams at the same time, EuroLeague and German national team. We Lithuanians know it just doesn't work well. And it's a super hard job for the coach. There's basically no holidays, and it's just not possible, I think, for humans to do that job. So, I mean, it's going to be hard for them to replace them, because I thought this team just had such a good environment, and he was a big part of it, and they had clear roles, and Gordon Herbert did an amazing job. Just look at the results in this Olympic cycle. Look at these 3 tournaments. They could have had medals in all 3 of them, and it was Eurobasket, World Cup, and now. So highest quality of basketball. Germans can't ask for probably better results in this 3-year span. I mean, you could try to be perfect, but not even USA can do that. So
I don't think they need any changes in their approach. But I would love to see a coach who could convince Isaiah Hartenstein to play for Germany, because to add that rim protection, that defensive center, would make them even stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying you have to cut some players from this roster, but maybe some of those players are replaceable, like Johannes Votman, for example. I understand his role, but I cannot really say he was great in these medal runs. So if there is a coach who could, let's say, talk to Isaiah Hartenstein and convince him to also show up, be as good at man management as Gordy Herbert was, have good relationship with Dennis Schroeder, you have Wagner brothers for your future tournaments for 10 years or 8 years. So you're always going to be strong. And you don't need to create some system, difficult science stuff that we sometimes expect from basketball games.
Mm-hmm.
You have talent. You have players that actually fit together. So it's about continuity. It's about continuity. It's always different when the federation fires the head coach for bad results. Then you're thinking about changing a lot. Now it's just about continuity. I don't know who will be the man, but I agree completely with August that it shouldn't be someone who's coaching a club at the same time. The man has to be dedicated for Germany, and I think the best way to go is a 4-year deal for the whole Olympic cycle, and don't judge the coach just after the next Eurobasket.
Right. Should we go into our quick alternative awards for the final part of this podcast? I have 4 different awards. They're not your usual, MVP, whatever, because those are actually given out. So let's do some that are more like our personal favorite things about this tournament. So let's go with the first nomination, which is biggest surprise. Don't know if you guys want to start. I could start with my biggest surprise is definitely France, because in my power ranking they were 7th before the tournament. After the group stage, especially after that game against Japan, I really didn't think they're going to cause any issues to Canada. that they changed it up completely with Gobert out of that lineup, whether it was injury or not, or coach's decision, whatever was best for the team. They completely changed their game. They managed to not just beat Canada, but also to before that. What am I talking about? Sorry, just so many things happened.
It's cool, man.
Yeah, not just Canada, Germany, then in the semifinal. So definitely the biggest surprise for me. That's no doubt.
What a cool dad and son moment we just had in our podcast.
Right.
Okay, sorry guys.
To me, the surprise of the tournament is kind of related to France. My surprise of the tournament is that Canada didn't reach the medal stage.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There's another category or nomination that's going to be biggest disappointment, but
you could, it's more or less the same thing.
Yeah.
Because they beat the group of death.
Mm-hmm.
They actually seemed like the team that should face Team USA in the final after the group stages. But then in the end, they weren't even in the medal stage and they lost to France. And it's not only down to France making adjustments, it's also that Canada had a poor game when it mattered the most. And you could have one certain Canadian player as the biggest disappointment of these Olympics.
Who is that, in your opinion?
Jamal Murray.
Oh, okay.
Since these are the alternative awards, I will take a note from our own main host Donata's book, and I will go outside of the box. Biggest surprise, I agree with you guys about France, but since I wanted to be original, I will say that Serbia actually showed up for the for the medal awards.
Nice.
Those 10 hours in between.
That was dangerous by the end.
I feel like Nikola Jokic definitely had a triple-double. 10 beers, 10 rakias, and 10 broken glasses.
That picture of him shirtless.
with the
peak
belly
male
blow to
athletic performance.
So in our office, I was sitting there, and there, journalists and other people working with Olympics. Some of them don't even care about basketball. I'm just showing this picture to them and saying, "This is my goat." They're like looking. Isn't this just some random drunk dude from the street? No, this is my goat.
This is the best basketball player on the planet.
Deal with it. Yeah.
So that was the biggest surprise, because I thought it could have went really the other way around.
but if it didn't happen, we wouldn't have such an entertaining award ceremony, to be honest.
It's like I expected like 5 Serbians to show up, maybe, and 7 to not show up already.
The coolest thing would be is just Svetislav Pešić just taking all the medals. I'll make sure they get this, okay?
Right. Next one is biggest disappointment, and I would nominate for this 2 things. If I wanted to have the people's hearts and get the popular vote, I would say the referees, of course, the biggest disappointment of the tournament.
Yes.
If I wanted to say how I feel about it, I mean, it's silly to say Puerto Rico is the biggest disappointment when you know that this team is just, they made their job by just making the playoffs. But because they eliminated my lovely Lithuania from this tournament, basically, because they took their place, that's why I'm disappointed. At least I was a fan of them, really, after the qualifiers. And I was expecting at least for them to have a single good game. They didn't have a single one.
They have a good game, but those good games were not enough.
That's true as well.
I don't know. Biggest disappointment, Puerto Rico. That's really an alternative awards.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Just like you went.
This is just because I was there. I saw how they played, and they, of course, they were facing only Lithuanian Italy, so it's different. But
you went the Donato's route as well, I see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Biggest disappointment. I agree with Rytis.
Jamal Murray
in Canada.
Jamal Murray, and I understand his situation. I don't want to sound harsh or say anything bad about him. It was tough for him to perform, but he's Jamal Murray. You expect things from him, and you don't get those things, and especially in the quarterfinal. he was there. He played minutes. The coach trusted him. He was taking shots. He couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it, and that was disappointing.
Right, next one is moment of the tournament, and there's a few. You wanna
Mantas, just put it on the.
Oh, which one? Oh,
This is my favorite moment, and
what's the quality of the screenshot?
it's a screenshot from Twitter. So
so this is yours, right?
this is mine, and I will watch it for like 500,000 more times in my life, I think. You have, I mean, Kevin Durant and LeBron James are wide open, and this guy just takes the shot, makes a complete rainbow of a shot over two people, makes it dagger, golden dagger. I don't know how.
Yeah, I feel like
Can you choose a different moment? I mean, that KD in the semifinal was
The crossover.
iconic, epic as well, but this is for the gold. So, and this is a heat check moment. This is fourth three-pointer, and this
Yeah.
is two of the greatest players ever standing wide open, and he's not passing it, and nobody's mad. You know, and Rob Perez on Twitter wrote this, explained this perfectly, and I couldn't agree more with him.
I can't argue with that. But there were so many great moments.
Many great moments
The
in this
Yabusele
tournament.
dunk, Mauzinho alley-oop dunk on Gobert, Struzel 3-and-1 play, Bogdanovic and Melo with that thing,
Yeah.
LeBron with Melo after the semifinal. Man, it's tough to choose, but until this shot, Franz Wagner dunk as well. That crazy dunk. I mean, before this shot, I would probably pick
KD or Yabusele over LeBron?
Yabusele, just
Yabusele?
because it's LeBron.
Just because it's LeBron.
But before this shot happened, but once this happened, it's over. It's over.
LeBron was-
No. This defines 2024 Olympics.
yeah,
This
exactly.
defines Steph Curry and the greatness. That's it. It's over. I don't want to hear anything else.
Nothing much else to be said. And the final category, final award is the biggest what if. And I feel like there's two good ones here. Is yours in the...
Ognjan Dobric.
Is that it?
I don't know. Referee not calling that foul on Matthews Rosell.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's a
would-
bigger one.
That would impact the bracket so much. If
France might not even make it.
If Japan beats France, oh my God, how
Look.
things change.
Oh, they might have been.
They probably would make it because they beat
No.
Brazil.
They beat Brazil. They would have been the.
They beat Brazil by like 10 points?
13, I think.
12 points.
13.
I think Brazil would have. Whatever. But they couldn't have. It's possible France could have been third, and
They could have been even fourth in some scenario, maybe. I don't know.
Japan had the worst difference.
Oh,
But it's just could have been third, and the worst third place of all three. So
they would have faced USA in the first in the
In the
quarterfinals.
or not even in the quarterfinals. If you're the worst third place team,
you might not
you're
even,
out.
Oh, the worst third place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say South Sudan then gets
Exactly.
Yeah.
gets to the quarterfinal. I mean, things could have been so much different if that one play didn't happen.
Come on, but if Ognjan Dobric makes
But
that
before,
three,
yeah, exactly. If he makes that shot,
But if he makes that shot, it's not guaranteed to win the game.
It's true.
that's
He
true.
just
2.5 minutes
It's
left.
just okay. It's a 5-point lead. They will be so much closer to the final, but it doesn't mean that they win.
okay,
But
let me
if
just.
Strazel shot doesn't happen, it definitely means that Japan wins that game,
What? Okay, so
That's true.
or at least the foul doesn't get
what
called.
if we take the whole 9 threes that Serbia missed in the fourth quarter as one moment?
That's not a moment,
I don't
though.
like that. I don't
Yeah,
like
I don't
that.
like it.
You know
That's,
why?
that's another strategy.
But you know why I don't like that? And it's unfair to America. Because it's a 40-minute basketball game.
yeah.
Are we going to pretend that Anthony Edwards didn't miss 2 open corner threes? Did Devin Booker miss? Of course he did during the game. It wasn't in the fourth quarter.
True.
It wasn't in the last minute, so we maybe don't remember that. But it happened also.
The percentages even out during the game. Like Serbia shot 15 for 26,
Like, yeah.
something like that. Crazy high numbers from
So
free.
if we play this hypothetical game,
yeah.
we give them the points for the open looks they missed. Let's take away the bank shot from Micic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Nah, I don't like that.
Let's take away Matthew Stajel in the finals, just hitting that over Anthony Davis off the backboard.
Come on. But
So
that moment where the ref called the foul, Stajel 3-on-1 play, it saved France, and eventually they played for gold. That's the biggest what if.
it pushed Evan Fournier to go out publicly.
Other what ifs,
Game changer.
honorable mentions like, what if Patty Mills managed to take a 3-point shot instead of a 2-pointer?
At the end of that game. Yeah.
Quarterfinal.
That's crazy how close Serbia was from actually not making the semifinal.
Australia, huge credit to them. After Serbia played semifinal and the bronze medal game, Australians should feel good about themselves because they were this close playing against Nikola Jokic.
What do you have in mind, Gytis?
No, that's
Which
it.
one do you pick?
For me, I thought you were gonna go with the Dobric one, so I was gonna say the one with Matthew Stajel.
I want to say one more thing, which makes me really happy. We didn't see any serious injuries in the tournament. I'm so happy about that because every time, like even last year when Raul Neto was injured, it just sucks. Dobric was injured in the final. It sucks. As a basketball fan, you hate it. Here in the Olympics, we didn't see any serious injuries. Alvarado was hurt, but he still played.
Yeah. And the last category is, who was your favorite co-host to do podcast this past week?
Gytis.
Oh, mine was Augustas, and yours, Rita?
No, just one thing. You know, I'm always brutally honest, and I don't want to fake and I don't want to pretend. This guy right here, he should be the top man in all basketball media in Lithuania, doing commentary as a color commentator for every big game, national team, Olympics, EuroLeague. He's the best. He has the best analytical mind and the way he reads the game.
Listen,
it's a pleasure to be at the same table. But entertainment-wise,
no.
entertainment-wise, you're the man.
Look.
Entertainment and
No.
IQ.
Okay, entertainment-wise, I'm the best.
Okay.
Obviously.
Entertainment and IQ.
Entertainment and IQ.
And
Yes, sir.
I'm the end.
And you're just, you're the host.
Entertainment.
You're the host, bro.
Thank you
thank you
guys
guys
for watching. Basketball is taking a little bit of a break now. Thankfully, actually, because it's been a crazy, like this season never ended, it seems. Now it's ending, finally.
Yeah, thanks to everyone for watching. We will see you soon for a Q&A episode, so please prepare your questions. But thanks for being with us, watching our coverage, watching our reactions, videos, breakdowns, podcast, everything. See you soon for one more podcast, but then I guess we're off to holiday.